Carl Melman was a normal kind of guy. He had normal tastes in food, fashion, and fun. So it came as quite a shock for Carl to discover a dead yak in his flower bed one summer morning. Carl took this as a sign, and he called his neighbor Henry. Henry, too, was a normal kind of guy, but he was not above pulling practical jokes on his neighbors, so naturally, Carl suspected him right away. Surprisingly, Carl found Henry to be out of town. Apparently, someone else was to blame for placing a large dead mammal in his flower bed. He decided to call the police. But unfortunately, they were about as much help as a handful of tree bark to a man reading Moby Dick. Carl soon began to realize he was on his own. He thought about the financial aspects of the situation and came upon a brilliant plan. He would charge admission, put the creature on display as a tourist attraction, and turn an otherwise sad problem into a profitable situation. And he did just that. So several weeks later, as people came from miles around to see the famous dead yak, someone knocked on Carl's door. He opened it to find a teary-eyed young boy holding a photograph of himself and a dead yak. The boy explained that the yak was his, and that his father had left it to him on his deathbed. He also told the sad story of how he had lost the yak in a bizarre blimp accident involving several midgets and a man known simply as Dave. After hearing the boy's story and thoroughly looking at the photograph, Carl believed that the yak truly belonged to the boy, and he let him have it. The boy expressed his gratitude to Carl by lending him an apparatus and smiled and waved as he hauled the yak away. Carl went to sleep that night feeling proud. Not only did he help a young boy find a missing pet, he also made a tidy profit in the process. And although this thought made him happy, he couldn't help but also feel a little sad. He and the yak had become quite close, and it was hard to believe that they would never see each other again. The next morning, Carl went out to get his daily paper, only to find a dead antelope in his mailbox. Carl grinned to himself, and the whole world seemed brand new